My name is Mavis Hicks, and I'm the owner of Mavology. I'm originally from Vallejo, California. How I navigated to Houston is I was living in Boston for about 13 years. It was cold. I was tired of the pandemic, and I wanted to try something a little bit new. Also, my parents are from Mississippi, so I'm closer to them now. So that's kind of how I made my way to Houston. Yeah, so Mavology is my baby. It's actually a rebrand of a previous business that I had. And it all kind of culminated during the pandemic because we had a lot of downtime. I specialize in handcrafted skincare products, our signature whip shea body butters, body oils, and a few facial products as well. So our slogan is made with intention. So everything is made intentionally to allow you to slow down and really take care of yourself. Oh my gosh, my first product was my whip shea body butter. So many years ago, I got obsessed with just shea butter and just all the benefits. And I've always had eczema growing up, so it's something that I kind of played around with, like mixing things together. My formal background is in culinary arts, specifically baking and pastry. So I love mixing things. I love learning about ingredients and just trying to find things that really work well for my skin. So I started off making body butters, and over time, I ventured out into other products. Yeah, honestly, I thought they were going to be easy. I thought they were going to be really easy to make, but they're not. They're very not. They're very temperamental. How you whip them, how you add oils to them, how you heat them, how you recool them, whip them. So initially, I was like, oh, this will be an easy product to make, but it really wasn't. I listed a lot of my culinary friends to help me in the very beginning stages, just to find the right formula. And so that's how I came up with our body butters. And I call it our signature because I always suggest people to try that first, because the way it just feels on your skin is very different than a traditional raw shea butter, which is a little bit thick and kind of hard to rub into the skin. But it being whipped just incorporates a little bit of air into it and allows it to really glide onto your skin.
What exactly is whip?
Oh, it's whipped. So it's literally, I use a stand mixer. And so when you whip butters and oils together, it incorporates air. So it adds volume and even this really nice creamy consistency. So when you put it on your skin, it just glides on really easily.
Okay, so what? Tell me about the.
Well, honestly, like in the beginning, I didn't do it for business. I was part of this women's group in Boston called, what was it called? Um, the Young Black Women's Society. And it was just a group of professional Black women that would get together for different events. Um, just different events, whether it's dinner or going to someone's house. A lot of it was about education, business development. And I took on one of the, I don't know, like organizing like an event, and I wanted to make something. And so I was like, that's actually, I really want to make soap, to be honest. And I was like, oh, I don't have time to make soap, so let me make this body butter. That turned into this huge project that later came onto a business. And how I got started is when I brought the jars to the ladies at this event, someone was like, oh, you should sell this. And literally in my mind, I never thought about being a business owner because I always thought it was going to be too hard. I was like, why do I want to start a business? It's just too much work. I always just thought it would just be a lot of work. But as I kind of grew in my career, I was very fatigued. So I worked in hospitality management for a long time. So the hours are long, they're not consistent. You work the weekends. And over time, I'm like, wait a minute, well, maybe I should start a business. And so I had this product here. So it just was about refining it, making it presentable to sell. And eventually my mind shift shifted from being in the workplace to like, how do I get out this workplace? And so making body butters was kind of like the beginning of my exit plan to leaving my job. Oh, so Mavology is like a point two of a brand that I had before. So in the beginning, I had a brand called Beauty and Simplicity. And so I did everything myself. I found the designer on Fiverr. And actually, in the very beginning, I used to paint trees on baby food jars. So random, because I was really into art and I wanted someone to have a keepsake of something that I made. So I did it all myself. I would print labels at work. I would do everything at work as much as possible. And then I did that for a lot of years. But again, I had a full-time job. So the effort I put into it wasn't as much as it could have been. But as I continued with my job, I started to it was just too much. I didn't like my job. I didn't like the environment. And I remember my first show, I realized like, wow, I can literally make money selling things that I make. And so that really shifted my mindset into I can really do this. And for years and years and years and years, I would do shows on the weekends. I didn't know anything about business. I just looked at Google and YouTube and tried to just figure it all out. Fast forward to the pandemic, I'm well into my career. The previous job I had was long gone. I was somewhere new. And during the pandemic, I had a lot of downtime. So I was like, now is the perfect time to revamp my business. And that's how Mavology came about. Well, I want them to know that one, that it's made with care. I literally make everything myself, and I want people to experience luxury. I want people to like really take time putting it on their skin, really pay attention to how it makes them feel, like emotionally, mentally, and also physically too. So I want people to really have an experience with my product.
Is your bestseller?
My best seller right now, well, they're the body butters, and I talk about them so much because they mean so much to me, and they really do work on their skin. So I've always suffered with eczema, and so shea butter is just excellent for the skin. I also use almond oil and coconut oil, all different type of body nourishing ingredients. So it really helps transform your skin. So I always like let people try that one first because you can get body oils other places, but my whipped shea body butter is very special and unique to Mavology.
Okay, cool.
My favorite part about my business is knowing like I did it myself. Like I take a lot of pride in my business, how I show up, what my presentation looks like, how people feel about it. So I'm really proud that like this was just a concept in my mind kind of by accident, and like fast forward here I am, and it's really amazing to see just the progress. So yeah, that I did it. Mm. So my ultimate goal is to be in Nordstrom. I love Nordstrom. I love the simplicity of their beauty area. It's just very clean. If you just go in there for a shopping experience that's unique to you, so that's where I see it long term. But I want people to know. So our slogan is made with intention. I want people to know that it's okay to invest in their skincare, to invest in time and taking care of their bodies. I want people to know. I just want them to try my product. So I don't know. I want to be global eventually. I mean, I guess that's the big, big, big goal. But for the short term, as I am kind of a new transplant to Houston, I want people to try my product and fall in love with it. Like honestly, like I have so much confidence in my product that like when people try it, like I know they're gonna love it. I know they do. So they always come back. And if they don't, that's okay. But like I just at this point now, I just want to expand within Houston so people can get to know who Mavology is and also who Mavis is. How do I plan to get there? How do I plan to get there? Just figuring it out. I feel like I've been trying to figure everything out a lot lately. But first is just scaling. Now I'm making everything on my own, which is great. But looking for a facility is something that's next for me. That's, like kind of the next step for me, finding a larger space so I can scale and start to make products commercially.
Okay, you know what? This will motivate somebody.
Yeah.
They did this for me.
Yeah, well, this is more of a personal journey, I would say, in entrepreneurship. So I've always had a full time job, I've always worked. And there was a point in time where I realized I didn't want to work. And a reason me coming to Houston was to be a full time entrepreneur. I was doing it full time in Boston, but I had a lot of support, so it didn't feel as hard as when I came to Houston because I didn't know anyone. And so what I learned in entrepreneurship is like, not only are you growing in business, but you're also growing in character as well. Um, my journey here didn't happen the way I expected it to. Like nothing did. And there was a lot of pivots I had to do. There was a lot of changes I had to make, a lot of discipline I had to develop. And I find that like people in entrepreneurship thinks it's just selling an item, but it's so much more than that. They don't prepare you for the mental fortitude you really need to move forward in business. So I would say that was probably one of the hardest things in entrepreneurship is not only am I trying to, not even trying, not only am I learning in real time how to run a business, how to scale a business, how to navigate into a new city, into a new market, and also, reach all my goals. I would give entrepreneurs, and someone told me this a long time ago, and I didn't really understand why it was so important, is having a community of people who think like you. Not a community, but a community who actually thinks like you. Because family members aren't always going to think like you. Entrepreneurs think like you. Entrepreneurs are people who are willing to risk it all. And I'm willing to risk it all. I'm like, when I leave this planet, I want to know I left everything on the table. And even if I have to like crawl my way out of a hole, I'm going to do it and know that I did it myself instead of just like settling. So my piece of advice is finding a community of people who think like you, who can support you with your wildest dreams, and just keep going. In years from now, I would say, Mavis, you've done a wonderful job, um, and better than you ever imagined. And because you kept on going, because you listened to yourself and you're unwavering, you should be very proud of your success.